Hey Kong Fam, so here's our new project, Super Comics number 62. Now Super Comics is one of the earliest comics. It started publishing in 1938 all the way up until 1943, from number 1 to number 65, so this is 3 issues before. This book is from 1943, so right in the middle of or start of World War II. And one of the reasons why I bought it is because of this really cool American flag marching, patriotism type of cover. So I really liked it and really cool. You can see some of the characters that are in here: Dick Tracy, Smitty, Tiny Tim, Harold Teen, and Winnie Winkle. But I love this blue with just the white outline, kind of a negative type of look. But very interesting. This was put out by a company called KK Publications. Now, actually, this was Western Publishing, which is best known for Dell Comics. Of the 65 issues, 36 of them was published through KK Publishing, and 29 of them through Whitman, which again, Western, Dell, Whitman, all the same but not the same. And starting with issue 66, it went from KK Publishing to Dell Publishing, and it lasted all the way up to issue 121. All right, so not much wrong with this book. Beautiful, flat, nice gloss. The pages are really nice. The biggest problem we have is this stain. Big old stain here. You can see it also on the cover. And the stain goes through to the first 2 wraps. So you can see the inside of the stain here. You can see a little bit of it here. And then I'm going to flip to the back. A bit more prominent on the back. This is a single staple book. A bit more prominent on the back, and you can see it here on this page. If we look at the next wrap, we see that it's also on the inside of this wrap and that wrap, and it stops. Well, you can see a little bit on this wrap, but it's mainly these first 2 wraps. And then if we look at the front, we see the same thing. That's come through the first 2 wraps and a little bit on the 3rd wrap. And still a little bit on the 4th wrap, but the main thing I want to try and do, like I said, there's not a lot wrong with this book. It is a single staple book. You can see it's tearing around the staple. We want to reinforce that. We want to reinforce a few tears that are along here. But the main thing is see if we can get this stain out, lightened. What can we do with it? And see a little bit more tearing here. The back cover looks really good. A few stains. Now, what is this stain? It is not sticky. The paper's not really come up or swole much from it. I mean, obviously the stain, whatever got spilt there, kind of stayed there for a little bit, but it wasn't sticky, so it's not Coke. I would have to think that this is coffee or something. It's also not petroleum, or else we would see a lot different type of tide line, and we would probably see a little bit of swelling or something with the paper. So I'm thinking coffee. Everybody drank coffee back then. 1943, 12 years old, you drinking coffee. So yeah, this will be the next project. A thick book. I mean, look at all these different stories you get for a dime. Man, you got your money's worth back then. And like I said, the inside looks amazing. Not worth a lot. I think only paid $20 for this book. Oh yeah, smoking. Just love these love the old art and stuff. So I did notice here that's from the printer, like the pages got wrinkled up a little bit. That might come out in the press. You know, to really try to take care of that. The only problem is when you're, I mean, the printing is coming across here, so you know you don't want the pages to grow. And again, that single staple, man, this book. But there's our single staple there in the middle. So we might try and take these middle wraps, maybe try to press them out a little bit. I'm not sure if they'll come out in a press with the whole book or not, but you know, it's also inherent to the book itself, so I'm not concerned about that. What really want to do is see what we can do with that stain. Here comes Jack. And so many, all these stories, if you notice, they're all kind of slightly political. And then here we are, it's more political ads here. How are you doing, Jack? You were sleeping, you heard me talking. Little Orphan Annie. And some of these could be reprinted from newspaper strips. If you notice on the front cover, we'll get to the end here. There we go. If you notice on the front cover, it says Chicago Tribune. So a lot of these were reprint books by certain companies. So yeah. Okay, so we'll get started on this and see what we can do with our Super Comics number 62 from 1943. Alright, so pressing this book down, notice also now some rippage, and I think that rippage though is due to this whatever happened within the printer of these pages kind of getting misfolded or whatever as it went through the printer and binder, probably through the binder. And again, we can see here what we've talked about before is just the paper kind of being pushed out of the way. You know, we might lose some of this as we're working on it, but we're going to try and be careful with it. All right, so let's see. And I think we're going to do we might tear a little bit of this paper. Thick book, staples are pretty tight against there, but we're not worried about that. We can fix all of that. We can fix it. Here we go. First time in what? 81 years. This book has been unbound. Put this aside for now. Just it being a single staple book, you know, caused a lot of stress around that area. So we're definitely going to add some extra Tengujo, but you know, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's focus now on the cleaning. This is after, hello Jack. All right, so this is after my wash. So I put it in the press, ran the press for around 300 seconds, and then for another almost 300 seconds at 165 degrees. I've now let it sit in the press for about 4 hours, and here is the result. Definitely see a lot of lightening of the stain. All right, Jack. The paper overall looks a lot brighter, and we see a lightening of the stain here. So yeah, looks really good. All right, get the stretches out of the way and go wherever you're going. All right, so now what I think I'm going to do is we're going to do a blue LED treatment and see what happens. My blue LED box that I bought from Immaculate Comics. I just haven't ever, I wasn't sure if I was wanting to invest in, it's still like $100. I guess it would have been cheaper just to buy the blue LED bulbs. But this is what I did anyway. This is what I use. I have this that sits on top. It's got blue LEDs. Now here's one of the few things, you got a lot of wires that come off of this, and this top just almost barely sits on there. All right, so what I'm going to do is run this for an hour, let it rest an hour, let it rest an hour, and I think that's it, and we'll see what we come up with. So here we go, and we will check back. So I've had the cover blue light. Like I said, the blue light treatment I was going to do was I ended up doing 3 hours of blue light. So blue light, 1 hour blue light, 1 hour rest, 1 hour blue light, 1 hour rest, then 1 hour blue light. And this is what we have after the third treatment. I think it's lightened a little bit with the blue light, but I feel like we've gotten to a point of diminishing returns now. So if we're hoping to lighten this stain even further, I think we're gonna have to do peroxide and heat again. So that's what we're about to do. All right, so I've gotten a mixture of 1% hydrogen peroxide with distilled water. I keep it because hydrogen peroxide is photosensitive. So I keep it in the brown bottle, and I have the spray where I can turn it off, because you don't want oxygen also to get to it. Because just want to get that initial dampness. And then we'll work it with the Hollytex. Because I am going to dry this slightly. So think about the normal hop method is that you take a piece of copy paper, you wet it with the peroxide mixture, and then you kind of dry it. You get it to a point where it's not like, you know, standing water on it, but that it's damp. And since we're kind of doing almost a reverse hop method, is I am wetting the book instead of the paper, and I want to get the book to that not wet but damp stage. So I'm pushing to get the cover completely saturated, plus kind of squeeze out some excess. Now we're going to turn it over. And make sure that we're good and saturated all over. All right, we are going to press this book. We're going to dry the book by pressing it. All right, we're gonna let that sit for about 10-20 minutes or so, not long, and then we will do the same thing we talked about before with the press. Is we'll have 2 magazine boards, and then place the book in between 2 Bristol boards, and the same thing on top, and let it go for around 600 minutes at 170-ish degrees. All right, stay tuned. All right, so this is after the wash we just did. I don't know, it looks like it might have reduced a little bit more. Yeah, it looks like it might have reduced some more. Alright, I think what we're going to do is we'll try one more blue light treatment, and then we'll give it a final wash and do our seals and all that. Alright, Conch fam, so this is after another peroxide treatment, also put into the press, and then 2 treatments of blue light. And I think this is about as best as we're going to get. I think we just start harming the book after this. There's still a faint hint. It's lightened, of course, quite a bit, but a faint hint of the stain. I don't think we've really lightened this since the second treatment, and I don't know. But we're going to call it there with that. So we're going to do one more wash, and then we'll do the tear seals and reinforcement and move on to the wraps. Hey Conch fam, so here I am putting in the staple. I just pressed the cover, and we'll probably, I'm not sure if it needs one more press or not, we'll see. As you see, I've decided not to do anything with the wraps. This tear goes through probably about half the wraps. The crease goes through about half the wraps. Looking at that stain on the inner wraps, it's not that bad, and I only paid $20 for this book, and this is a thick book. It's 50 whatever, it's a thick book, and basically the juice just isn't worth the squeeze with this book, and going through all of those wraps and trying to do seals and pressing and everything. It's just not worth it for this book. So we did, though, achieve our goals in working with a major stain, which I had not done before. I hadn't used peroxide washes before or anything. I followed Captain Larry's methodology with doing that, and quick drying and all of those things. So I did learn something new. I probably need to, yeah, I'll probably humidify this once, because I got a pretty sharp corner here, but we can see, you can't even see the Tengujo. You know, I put the Tengujo all through the interior here to seal up and you can't even see it. I can't see it. I can feel it with my fingers, but I can't see the Tengujo. Again, the back, there's Tengujo all the way up and down this spine. I did not capture that on camera because you've seen me do reinforcement and tear seals on plenty of other books. You can see the Tengujo peeking through right there where I just cut it off even. I didn't trim down into it, so there is Tengujo there, but yeah, can't even see it. So I think I am, like I said, you can see the Tengujo right there and a little bit right there. All right, so I think I'm going to humidify this book and try and help out with this sharp edge that's come up with the book. But otherwise, that is going to be it. We are done with our Super Comics number 62. I think we've done a lot with that stain. Looking here at the front cover, the back cover compared to what it was, the interior, you can still see the stain, see a faint hint of the stain, and then of course, like I said, I didn't do the inner wraps, and see a faint hint of the stain there, but we've reduced it quite a bit. I will put a before image up of that, but otherwise, yeah, that is it. Ink still look great, even though we did a whole bunch of washes on this. Does seem to pop. The white seemed to pop a little better. So I don't know, I guess first experiment me with peroxide, you know, is a success. I don't know, we'll see. It doesn't smell like peroxide. It smells like an old comic book. So yeah. Alright, I doubt I'll live another 50 years to see if it's affected it in any way. But otherwise, that's it. Thank you all. Appreciate you tuning in. Please give a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And with that, I'm going to say peace, love, and comics. Thank you all. Bye.